Shooting the Shell.
Good morning, sports fans, or whoever's out there. I don't know where I am anymore or who I am. I'm just here to tell you Shooting the Shell sent me to welcome you to this episode of Shooting the Shelf.
That tracks. Yes.
Hi, Curtis. How are you?
I'm doing most excellent. How are you?
I'm alive. I am.
It was
here.
a long weekend. I know. I heard it was very busy.
Yes. It was a great time at the Maryland Expo, Maryland Toy Expo. I won't get into all of that just right now, but yeah, it was a good time. Little hijinks for me getting home today, but all is well. And here we are getting ready for our show. Again, we are
and what did you think about Maryland? Are you ready to move there?
No. Nothing wrong with Maryland. So Friday night, Cookie and I, we needed to run to 7-Eleven. We needed to get some ice, and I wanted to get some sodas.
Yeah.
And we were going to pick up dinner. We ordered dinner from like a pizza place. It was like a couple minutes away.
Yeah.
And so we're in like this like suburbia area, and then like we take a left, and we're like downtown, like Towson, Maryland. It's just suddenly like, like downtown city, and we're like, what's going on? There's like suddenly one-way streets, and it's like hooking around, and there's nowhere to park at the 7-Eleven. It's just one of those little ones like in the corner of like a big city where there's no parking, and like there's no parking on the street. It's like, how do you go to 7-Eleven without parking? So I dropped him off, did a lap around the block, and came back. And then we were trying to find the pizza place, but we were so close to the pizza place, both of our GPSs were giving us walking directions. And then it's like, we can't turn down this road because it's blocked off because there's like a street festival in the middle of the night and like a concert going on. So we had to park like 4 blocks away, and he ran back and got the pizzas and came back. And so no, I don't want to live there. It was a great place.
And all of that happened on Cookie's birthday?
This whole weekend happened on Cookie's birthday. I don't know how that happens, but
that's busy.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about adventures in Towson, Maryland.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you're back and excited. We got a show tonight. How about I shout out the folks in the chat?
Why don't you do that?
Let's see. We've got Dave Orkin, who logged in about 57 hours ago. We've got Joe Martinez out there, Chris Johnson, Stacy Lynn, Legends Collector, 1321, V-Dog, David Williams. Poor David Williams. Got a story about him real quick, Jesse. He apparently listens to OffWorld or watches it or whatever after the fact, isn't able to catch it live because usually he's in the Legion chat thing and stuff. And we had what I believe was probably our best OffWorld episode on Friday.
Oh, because I wasn't there.
No, because it was just, we were talking about cartoon theme songs, and it was just great. And we were having a lot of like memories popping up and stuff. But then we got 22 copyright strikes against us, and it got taken down the next morning. So it's the best episode of OffWorld that will never be seen by anybody unless they're live. So yeah.
Oh
anyway.
Gosh.
We got Steve O'Bag. We got Jin out there. Carver Customs, Brian Lynn. So that means we got both the Lyns. We got Kevin McCoy out there. Art the Zoran. King Castle Seeger. Tanya McCoy's out there. We got both the McCoys. Jeff Evans. We got Guaisagüe, Echevarria. Listen, if you didn't catch PGG last night, you missed it because Anthony House-Seal had the best Echevarria in the history of Echevarrias. It was pretty good. So that has not been taken down. So you can still go see that. We've got Dub3 out there. Wholesome Warlock. Let's see.
Got to give a huge shout out to Jordan. There's a freaking all-star at the convention this weekend. Yeah, he was handing out.
Awesome.
He was working the crowd. He was handing out Cabal shirts for Len and the table and everything. Like Jordan, and he had the shiniest purple pants.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, freaking rock star.
We got Joe Gonzalez out there. Let's see, Trevor 1-6 shooter. Love us some Trevor. Raylan is out there. Purple Ray. Patrick Boyle is here. I am TJ Williams. The H is silent. Jose Sanchez. Santos Rivera is out there. And I think that's everybody. Did want to pull up this comment real quick from Wholesome Warlock. Choo Choo Curtis, cursed by a witch.
Let's do the Curtis Choo Choo song.
Oh, choo choo Curtis rolling down the track. A lonely whistle echoes, he ain't coming back. Cursed by a witch, now a train all alone. Choo choo Curtis, far from home. Lonely nights and endless rails. Choo choo Curtis, lost in tales. A heart of steel, a soul in pain. Choo choo Curtis, bound by chains.
Being a train isn't so bad, I guess. Look how shiny and purple I am. Choo choo.
Yeah, so if you missed it, Jesse, I got turned into a train last night because I refused to dance with a witch. Because I only did
both of us.
The only woman I dance with is Darla. So I got turned into a train. We'll see if I turn back or, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to tune in to find out. So, but we've got an awesome guest with us tonight, Jesse. he's lost. He's done, folks. But let me introduce our awesome guest joining us tonight. He's going to be a hit at IshCon coming up. He is also going to be part of the customizing studio event at Legions Con. Let's welcome. You want to do your digital warm welcome, or do you not have it in you?
We're just going to call it my dorky welcome.
I don't know. I stumbled over it like you
kind of stumbled words.
Yeah.
It's all spreading. Welcome with your digital applause, Joe Martinez. Oh, we're both clicking buttons.
That was the fastest appearance ever. You're gone.
I've never had such a smooth introduction before.
I've never had one of my introductions called smooth before.
Well, I mean, you were just all like, Joe Martinez. So I was just like, okay.
It's the lack of... It was the 20-minute nap I got in NTB today.
Nice.
That's fair.
Those are some of the best naps. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just coming home tired and then just like, okay, bed, face plant.
No, this was propped up in the chair at the National Tire and Battery while my car was getting worked on. I was like, it's comfy in here. It was like air conditioned just right. I'm just sitting there and I was like, Next thing I woke up like 20 minutes later with the biggest crick in my neck.
All right. Well, we are going to go right into shelf selections. I got something to say though before we go into shelf selections, Jesse. So you had messaged me earlier in the week and sent me 4 picks and said that you were going to put in this other one, but you thought that maybe I'd picked it, but I hadn't picked it, but I had picked another one of yours. And so then you gave me another. Anyways, I ended up using all 5 of your pictures so that I could do 5 of mine, which means we got 10 pictures. So,
which means I now have to drop 2 of them out or crop them.
I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm sorry. I had to do it. They were just too good. The pictures were too good this week. I could not cut 2 out. So
yeah, and let's not forget the 4 that I sent Curtis as well.
Yeah,
you got those right.
That's fine.
I'm kidding. By the way, I didn't send anything.
So,
I can't include them in the post the next day, but they're cool to have. But
I didn't have anything. I literally a half hour ago, I was just like, I should have done my own picture, sent in my own pictures for this. And then I was like, too late.
Well, yeah.
So not only did
Jordan
you not
says you can make a collage. So there you go.
No, I don't. The reason I don't like doing that on Facebook or Instagram is because it then takes the pictures and makes them smaller. So instead of getting to highlight each individual one on its own post or slide on the show, I'm trying to give everybody,
No, I get it. I get it.
Full page spread.
But here's my take. You
didn't want to use the one I had picked because I had also picked it. So you picked 2 more we could.
Here's the counter argument to your, you want to give them their whole page. My take is is that those other two people that wouldn't have made it would rather be recognized at all than not and not have their whole page to them, their own slide. So,
But then what do I do with the other slides?
I don't know. We'll figure it out, man. We'll work it out. Maybe we do 2 posts.
I got a better question.
little
Why do
too
you
much-
each do 4 and not 5 anyway? I mean, you got to have like a nice, good round number, like 10 instead of
Because
8.
Instagram only lets you put 9, which
It only lets us do 10 pictures on a
10.
slideshow. So it's the screen cap of the episode, the 8 shelf selections, and then the teaser promo picture of next week's guest.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. You got me there.
Jesse said Mark Zuckerberg dictates how shooting shelf lives its life. All right.
I mean,
Trying to work
in a way, he's not wrong.
Well, let's get right into shelf selections. I'm sorry about the extra photos, folks, but yeah, we got some fun stuff to show. So
You can't throw those kind
Some
of
stuff.
those screwballs at me after like freaking Choo Choo Curtis.
yeah. I mean, how do you think I
Yes.
feel? I got turned into a choo-choo train and I'm separated from Darla.
You played it, so you liked it.
No, I'm trying to get turned back into a real human boy. So anyway, here we go. First picture this week is Wholesome Warlock. And this is, Dr. Eggplant brought to life. So yeah, if for any of you PGG fans you've been enjoying the, escapades of Dr. Eggplant, here he is. So yeah, I'm not sure what appearances he's going to be making. Maybe you'll see him at IshCon. Who knows? But yeah, Dr. Eggplant now exists in the real world. And the only thing I have to say is watch out, Nate Armstrong. So
There was a confrontation between what?
Dr. Eggplant and the lizard
Dr.
people?
Eggplant and Nate, because they met face to face this weekend at the Expo. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully we get to hear how that turned out sometime.
I mean, I did see Nate when I briefly popped into the customizer studio this afternoon. And so he seemed like he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all of that aside, Jordan, great paint job on the head on this. This is one of the gnome heads from Walter DeMarco at Wolf King Customs. Did an amazing job on it. It looks fantastic. I'm not sure what body that is, but that's really cool. I like it.
It is a Marvel Legends, maybe a Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the Mr. Fantastic body with a little bit of sculpting on it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I also feel bad for Anubis. It looks like he had something in his hands, and now Dr. Eggplant has it. I mean,
Maybe Anubis was getting ready to make eggplant parmesan, but Dr. Eggplant needs all the eggplants for his war against the lizard people.
I think we should probably go to the next slide because this is a really awesome picture, and I don't know how much.
I think it's a great custom and definitely screams Jordan.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
Next one
Capital
is
letters,
Jesse.
punctuated. So this is
Ooh.
Sir Dork
Dot.
on
There's a
Instagram.
dot in there. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Sir Dork afterwards. So this is Sir Dork with a dot, and it was cool. There was some video of them trying to get the bubble. So it's like just regular bubbles, with a little wand and everything, trying to get that energy shield around the destroyer droid. I don't know. I think that's the new Black Series one, just from the size of it. But either way, it was just really cool. And this was the picture they posted. I just thought that was just a really fun. Again, it's always cool seeing people like do really cool cinematic professional style photos. But to see this, it still looks like a professional photo, but like you can clearly see like the play and fun they're having in it. So I just thought that was really cool.
This looks like a behind the scenes shot on like one of the photographers that do these crazy things and stuff. And then I want to see the other I want to see the one with the like where he's coming down like a hallway in a destroyer or something, and
maybe I missed it, but I don't remember seeing like a finished picture. I feel like
Gotcha.
this was the main one.
It's a cool idea though. It's a great way
Yeah.
to, get that, shield around him. So,
Yeah.
and that figure looks awesome too. I don't know that I've seen that one before. So that's cool.
They just released it as a 2-pack with, I think, a regular droid or a new Jar Jar or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Gotcha. That's one way to get rid of your Jar Jars. Joe, any other comments on this one? Yeah, Joe's. I agree, Joe. Cool.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Here it comes.
That's all right. This is my next one. And this is from Lago_figs, but this is just like a production shot. And this figure is not a statue. This is a seamless body, 1/6 scale. And it's from a company called like Playtoy. Man, it is fantastic. You're not going to be able to see the details on this particular shot, but if you go to that Instagram or look up, Playtoy, Street Fighter, whatever, you'll see it. And the details on this thing are fantastic. It's like $170, which I don't know if that's good or bad for a 1/6 scale, but dude, it looks so realistic. And so I had to include that in this week because as much as I'm trying to fight off the 1/6 bug, this thing is really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't have any 1/6 figures, especially, and I've seen very few that look to have, and aren't almost like fully closed, just because then it like hides so much of like the build under it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it totally, when they get it into a pose, it looks like a statue, but it is fully posable. So, yeah, really cool. So
awesome.
Next one is Jesse's.
So, this is from Spiral Mystic Toys on Instagram. I was scrolling through the feed and I saw this and I was like, "Ooh, dang, what's this? Oh, it's toys. It's not a movie." I'm always psyched out by some of these photos that just look so good. Just that nice heavy fog, the shadows, like seeing this looks like, the Brood marching into like, the northernmost points of like Zylernia or something, like through the woods and the fog, and just like it's very dark, very ominous. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the few people I think that really enjoyed Dracula Untold, and this looks like it could be a scene out of that movie. Like it just has that kind of dark, gritty vibe, and that morning fog rolling in, and they're coming lurking by, and as a group, there's a scene in that movie where they're like running in the woods and trying to get away from the other bad guys and stuff. And yeah, I could totally see these folks in there in that kind of wood scene. So yeah, it's a great shot. So
yeah,
Spiral Mystic Toys. I don't know if I'm following that one. I might have to check that out, but I definitely need to, because that's cool.
Blake, love Spiral Mystic Toys. Yeah, this is really cool. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah.
All right. Next one is mine. And this is from the ever-talented Emil Wickman. He had a couple new customs this week, which I don't know how he puts out the quantity of customs that he does and still they're the quality that they are. But this one with Wanda, I had to include because, he did that, use that kind of the wrapped torso, but then used the armored arms with the unarmored like forearms going underneath the gauntlets, and it totally makes it look like she's wearing a jacket here. And I know, I was talking with him today in the studio, and he was, talking about like messing with some soft goods and trying to make her look like a jacket that way. But I'm glad he went with this, because this looks phenomenal. I would have never thought to use, armored arms as a jacket, but it so works. And I think this thing just came out amazing. I mean, you see this and you immediately know not only what character it is, but you know, like you can picture the scene in the movie. It's just so good. Emil is so talented and also just a great, sweet guy. So
totally agree. Yeah, this custom is great. And just great repaint on all these pieces. Like, again, it totally transforms. Like, I know those are Mythic Legions, and if I look at it, I can tell you what figures they come from. But you know, just the work he puts into it, it just totally transforms. And I know sometimes he does like additional sculpting, but I don't think he did like any additional sculpting on this one.
The only thing on this that is not Legions is the skirt piece, the fabric skirt piece. I think he got from something else. But yeah, everything else is either, you know, Mythic or Cosmic Legions. So yeah, great job. Killed it.
And you're right. I totally see the scene from Age of Ultron where she steps out of the building after that speech from Hawkeye and just starts doing her thing.
Dude, I just got chills just thinking about that like, you know, like his little hero speech kind of thing. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is one of Jesse's, which was something that I really was interested in as well. So, but go ahead.
So this is Toys and Photography, and I love the location is New York sewers. I like when people are get that creative bug to put in like the location of the setting of the scene in that thing. I haven't figured out how to do that, but that is the NECA 4-pack, not NECA, excuse me, Mezco 4-pack. And is that the croc you have?
The one that I've got dressed as a lifeguard.
The crocker from
yeah, it's a really cool figure, but the way that they're using it here is kind of like a stand-in for Leatherhead in a more realistic kind of world, because those Mezcos aren't really cartoonish. They're very detailed and kind of look like maybe they were, you know, right out of a movie or something. So I love the incorporation here, and then the little like Stargate that they're using for that as I mean, I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a sewer entrance, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that was like a Stargate looking thing. That's even cool. I mean, they do have like portal stuff in some of the comics and different things, so maybe I don't know. But yeah, that's this shot is just really cool. The little mist coming in and the lighting, it definitely has some epic cinematic vibes here. I really like that.
I really hope with the 2-pack figure obscura that we just got with Anubis and Bastet that we see some like dio pieces like Stargates at, you know, Legions Con, like that light up and look like actual portals. I think that, you know, kind of also with you know, like the Poxus wave, having some portal type stuff that light up would be really cool. So
I know I've seen some people working on
NECA TMT portal, so maybe that's what that is. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I did want to pull up this real quick from King Castle Seeger. Said they got a sneak peek of Emil's next custom in the studio today. Just another reason to join. So yeah, studio was popping today. I mean, at one point, I think we had upwards of almost 20 people in there, just working on different projects and you know, chatting and having a good time. You know, so yeah, if you're ever working on something on a Sunday, dio, painting, or just want to come and hang out and chat, you know, hit me or Jesse up with a PM and we'll add you to the group. But it was a lot of fun today. So all right, next one is one of mine. And this is Recon Rage page on Instagram. This is now, I believe he's out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is a Blaze Bear paint job on this head. And I think, you know, a couple of things with this. Number one, really great paint match for the thigh guard neck. And then, you know, besides that, just the blending in different colors from the top of the head down to the bottom of the head. Like it's just so good. Like I know we've had Blaze Bear's paint jobs on here, you know, for the last few weeks, and he really is becoming my, you know, kind of 2024 Arthas that I'm like, I gotta really make sure that I stop by his table right away and get something at Legions Con. man, his work is just so good lately. So yeah, I had to include this one in this week. This is one of the ones, just so you guys know, this is the ones that probably wouldn't have made it if we were stuck with the 4 rule. So I had to slide this one in there because it was just too good. So sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, again, it's a fantastic paint job and just a cool shot. I know when I do the black backgrounds, like I use like, the in-app device where it just like copies like the layer out of the photo and I drop it onto a black background. This looks like it was shot that way. I could be wrong, but like it just looks more rich and solid than the ones I do. So, but yeah, that I gotta give it to anyone who gets the paint even remotely close, and this is well more than remotely close. This is really well done to the Thygar, because I tried like 3 or 4 times to match that blue, and I have not gotten it yet. It's okay.
I love that brain
Blake's,
part of it. It is just so good.
Yeah.
So.
Blake is confirming it. It's a raw shot, and he took the photo. So very cool.
Awesome. Next one is one of Jesse's.
So this is em.figurephotography on Instagram. Not to be confused with EM Customs, Eric Miller. I don't know if I can't remember if I saw this on the Cabal and then saw they had an Instagram tag and followed over. My brain is kind of scrambled right now as far as remembering things, but I saw this shot and I was like, heck yes, this looks like some sort of like Xylernian Jedi Knight, just doing like a force throw of this skeleton, and the motion blur, the dirt, everything on this just feels really cool. And yeah.
So I saw this when you sent it, and what I thought was going on, and maybe you're right, maybe it's some sort of force throw magic, something. I thought that this hand that's closest to us was like, this is the follow through after like this lady just bitch slapped that skeleton and just like that, like just knocked him into the air. So that's how I was seeing this.
That's a cool take on it too. Yeah.
But now that I'm looking at it and, the way that you described it, you do see like all the debris and rocks and stuff like flying in the air. So yeah, it makes sense for it to be some sort of, magical, shove back move or something.
Or maybe it was like a sword attack, because she's definitely holding a sword there, and that forward hand's kind of blurry. So maybe it's like you said, like it's a sweeping. Yep, she's holding some sort of weapon. It's coming down right from the middle to the bottom left, almost corner of the shot, right across the backside of her form there, and it looks, so maybe it was like one of those like video games kind of like sweeping action attacks, and like the wind effects of the woods or whatever like blasted him back. Yeah, that's awesome.
Shit says,
yeah, just pull that up.
Greater than Jedi Force lift. So there you go. Well, yeah, it's really cool though. Great job, great shot. I don't know how they did that. It would be cool. I don't know if they did it behind the scenes, but it would be cool to kind of see how they had it all set up and everything. I love seeing that with like the wires and however they do this stuff.
em.figurephotography, and maybe you'll see the answers to that. I don't know. That's not a tease. I'm not trying to tease you. I don't remember. I saw this shot and grabbed it, and that was it.
Guys,
they're now in my feed.
Jesse's teasing us, just so you're aware. So
don't get too excited about it and build it up to something that what?
Right. Yeah, there's no behind the scenes, but still cool. A lot of great shots, and I wasn't following them, and I am now. So thank you, Jesse. And that's really the point of this, folks, is for us to put a highlight on some folks in the community doing some really cool stuff that you can go out there and follow and make your Instagram feed just a little bit better. So my next one is visual_approach_photo. And this is just kind of Darth Vader being a badass. So that's really just it. That's all I got to say on this one. There were a few other shots, a few other photos, like different angles and stuff. But yeah, this is just so cool. I love it.
Yeah, I almost grabbed this one as well. And oh, is he back? Are you back?
Hey,
Hey,
seems
hey.
like it.
right.
Didn't see you there.
We got Joe back, everybody.
I didn't see me there either. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
So this is just
Although it's
Vader
taking
being a
forever to
badass.
load the slide, but I mean, like, better than nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder
Yeah,
if I can see the slide on my main computer screen.
this shot is really cool. Just the way the blur on the lightsaber taking that head off. You know, I think they had it captioned like something danger room, something or other.
It says a little team building with Vader and the Inquisitors. So,
Oh,
and then
okay.
there's a story behind it. So,
Okay. So yeah, this is just
and
I
there are some behind the scenes shots. So,
I like the concept of Vader training with the Inquisitors or like schooling them.
yeah.
I think that's fun.
I like that he doesn't hesitate to just destroy expensive droids, you know, just like whatever. We'll get a new one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
It's a
surprised
training.
you picked something where someone's destroying a Batman related thing, but
I don't care. This was just cool, man. So,
yeah, exactly. Like, don't go team building with Vader.
yeah. All right. It's not all kumbaya and holding hands. So,
Yeah, when you go team building with Vader,
no trust falls. Well, there may be, but you're not coming back from it.
But yeah, it's a trust fall, and you can trust you're going to fall and die.
All right, this is Jesse's next one.
So this is our buddy Jesse Fireeisen, who's a killer photographer, and this, I believe, is the Haya Godzilla. So that's like a 6-inch figure or 7-inch figure, whatever size those toys are. And just really good perspective, and you know, like minis in the foreground. Just really, really cool job on this. It feels like something out of that 2014 Godzilla. And you know, just that really low on the ground angle up at him. Just absolutely love this shot.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, like from underneath shot looking up. And it does have that like very imposing feeling to it, like you would get from a movie, you know, where it's like he just looks, you know, bigger than life. Yeah, super cool. I mean, Jesse always does great stuff, but this is really neat.
Oh, wrong
yeah,
color.
you too. You do all right stuff. You're good.
All right.
So
Very cool.
apparently this is part of the lizard people. So yeah, lizard army. So
Don't do it.
No.
And Joe, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, like I love it. The perspective. I don't know if it's like if it's just done with like a model perspective of the city, and then like the Godzilla in the background. I love how this looks. Yeah. And the bloom off the sun and the clouds is just so good.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a small city landscape in front of him. Like it's like actually like a little model kit, and then with a digital background. So
yeah,
pretty neat. All right, and I think that is the last one. That is it for shelf selections. We do have some more pictures in a little bit. But
weren't there supposed to be a bunch of others? Like I feel like I missed something.
I do have some pictures to reveal from you, but do you want to do that now, or you want to do that later in the show?
I don't know. We could do it now. I'm good with that. That's fine.
All right. Well, from
my big reveal.
Here you go.
Drum roll.
Yeah. So. My buddy and I, my buddy Chad and I, we've been working on this thing for the last few months, and we finally gotten a nice, good printed model. I finally got my own in hands. It'll be available at IshCon for the first time. And yeah, I'm really excited to show this thing off. It's a hover bike for your cosmics. I mean,
And got
Yeah.
a couple other shots. So here's a side view of it with a red jet. And
Oh, man.
And then we've got an over top view. So very cool.
That
yeah, it's hefty. It's really big. If it falls off your shelf, it's not gonna break.
Yeah,
Very cool.
we anybody that was in the studio today saw Joe kind of working on removing some of the supports for this, and it looked like he was holding a brick the whole time. So yeah, we got him on the screen. Let's
Oh, yeah.
put him up there. Here we go. Yeah, that thing.
holy cow.
But yeah,
That's
you can see like next to my head, it is.
Yeah. And that's not a small head either.
Giant.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I've not seen you in person, so I don't know how big your head
You know,
is.
we've been
Ooh,
working
that
on
looks
this. We've been having
nice.
fun.
Oh wow.
A lot of model adjusting needed to be done to make sure things fit.
Yeah, that looks cool. That fits on there perfectly.
Uh-oh. Did I disconnect?
No, you're
Nope.
good. We see you.
Okay. Oh no, because Jesse cut off for me.
Oh no, we're
There
good.
might be a little lag somewhere on somebody, but we're good.
Yeah, it looks awesome,
Yeah.
man.
So what were you saying, Jesse?
I was just saying it
Thank
looks
you.
awesome. Do you have a 1.0 that you can put on there real quick just to see?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Oh man.
Beautiful. And do you have any pricing worked out for that yet, or is that to be determined?
So it's still to be determined, mostly, but we're kind of looking at about 75 a piece,
Mhm.
which I
Oh, I think we lost him. Well, while we're waiting for Joe to come back, let's look at a couple more of these pictures. Jesse, thoughts on this thing?
I think this is great. I think like there's so many different color options I'm seeing in my head, you know, whether it's, you know, red jets, you know, something to go with the red jets, or like some sort of like police or security force or something. Or,
Oh,
you
I
know,
didn't even
something
think
like,
about like the police kind of cycle. Yeah, that's awesome.
or you know, like for Ziri or Kayleen here, you know, where it's like, you know, they're kind of, you know, bandit getaway vehicle or something, you know, where you could like dirty it up a little bit, or, you know, really crisp, clean, like, you know, and when Joe gets back, when his internet fluxes back in, we'll it sounded like he said 75 a piece,
Yeah.
and
I
knowing
think the soft goods on that figure too really sell the
Oh, yeah.
movement of it. So yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
But I think looking at this and seeing how big it is, I think $75, if that's the price they go with, is a fully acceptable price, because I know some of the big pieces from Wolf King and other printers that are like that big and that solid. That's a lot of material there, and those will not print quickly.
Steve was saying, I wonder if it'll have a hole underneath to put on a flight stand, or put on a stand for flight mode. That's what I was wondering, and we will definitely ask Joe that when he gets back. But first off, I got to pull up this comment. Jesse enjoyed peach cobbler without vanilla ice cream.
I
Why?
have no idea what that is. I don't know if I've ever enjoyed peach cobbler with or without ice cream.
Oh, well, it's great if you have it with ice cream. A little warm peach cobbler with some ice cream.
That
It
sounds
really-
good.
I would say warm any cobbler with ice cream is
I mean,
amazing.
I've had, you know, like
So,
apple pie or cobbler with ice cream, but like,
Jen is saying he said 75 for unpainted and then 150 for a painted version.
okay,
So,
okay.
So I guess we'll see if he has some different paint options that he does. And but yeah, that's pretty cool. And it sounds like he's going to have these available for IshCon. So yeah, anybody going to IshCon, definitely take a look at one of these. I 100% need to get one of these for my Century Army. So
Yeah, this is great. It's absolutely amazing. And
It's we were doing that whole cartoon thing on OffWorld on Friday, and I really we talking about the theme songs and stuff, and I was talking about the Cops and Crooks toy line, and been spending the last like 2 days just apparently it's on Tubi, which I didn't realize. So I've been watching Cops episodes on Tubi for the last 2 days. The cartoon, not the whatever. Anyway, this looks like something that could be right out of that show Cops. And like, yeah, now that you said something about like a police hover or something, like, dude, I want to paint this up like in Cops colors, and then do like a tribute figure to one of the Cops figures, maybe like long arm or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be neat. So,
very cool. Like, I mean, I know this could fit in any world, but I just recently rewatched Fifth Element, so I'm just seeing this during that chase scene with him in the taxi. I know it's like cop cars in that one, but like I could see this as being something that could have gotten after him.
Yeah,
very cool.
Let's see. I got that one. I've got the one starred by Steve. Oh, yeah, I got that. Okay, so we'll bring that up on there. Yeah, Brian's the one that mentioned it was on Tubi, and here's the thing for anybody that looks it up on Tubi, and I know this is kind of off topic, but we're waiting for Joe anyway. If you try to look up Cops on Tubi, you can't just type in Cops. Like, you've got to put C.O. Like, otherwise it won't pull up. If you just type in the word Cops, it will not pull up. So, which is kind of weird, because then if you look at it like on the screen, like it doesn't even have the dots in it, but for some reason it won't pull up unless you put the dots in it. So,
well, I imagine there's a lot of stuff that comes up if you just type Cops without the dots.
But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't pull up if you do that. So, but yeah, man, I was watched the 2-part episode where BP Vest becomes Bulletproof Vest after his accident, and they got to make him cybernetic. Was that a cartoon you partook in when you were younger?
I remember seeing some of it, but like I never got to watch it regularly. I liked it. I thought the toys were cool, but it's not one that I have. Like I would have liked to have an attachment to it, but I didn't get to see enough.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really liked the kind of futuristic take on some of the like the people, the equipment, stuff like that. And then it was like the first cartoon with an African American lead, and I just thought that was kind of cool too. And BP Vest, man, that dude was he was smooth. That dude was he was awesome. So anyhow, that's our Cops talk for the day.
There we go.
Well, we'll pull this back up once we get Joe back in here. Looks like he's trying to get in. We'll see. But in the meantime, Jesse, any highlights from Maryland Toy Expo that you want to share with us?
So, it was how does Jeremy say it? A Legionnaire-led 4 Horsemen event. So it was Len of Wolf King as a retailer running a 4 Horsemen table that was just Horseman stuff, and then I was running the Wolf King table. The setup was a little smaller than I'm used to for Wolf King. It was a little bigger than MesquiCon, but just the way it was arranged, so it was a little different. So it was like a real dodge and weave to try to like get things set up right. And
it looked like a huge setup. How many tables did you guys have?
We had 3 booth spaces. So there were 2 8-foot tables of Legions for the Horseman table, and then like a 6-foot side table where because we like to do a thing where you come through the Horseman table, you pay, and as soon as you pay, you come around like kind of the L, and then you just turn around and you're in the Wolf King section. We did that with RetroCon when we had the booth with next Anthony Houseel and Toy Forge was right with us, so it was even bigger. So it was it was a much more spread out, roomy spot. But it was really cool. There was a really nice gentleman on the other side of us named Len, who I guess this show's been going on for a while. And he's like, oh, you guys are new. What happened to the lady and her son that was in this spot last time? I was like, I don't know. This is our first time here.
We took him out so we could have this spot.
So it seems like, a show where there's regulars, which going to some of the Toy Cons and RetroCon and some of the stuff in kind of that the Jersey, Eastern PA area, you get to recognize certain vendors. Well, down here, it was far enough away that there was a lot of new faces of other shops. Now, Attorney of Dreams was there. They had like their mobile unit set up outside, and there was a second building I never even got to go over to. I like walked to the two booths right across from us. And that was it. Like I didn't, the only time I think I went around the rest of the show was I was looking to find Patrick for somebody.
No bathroom breaks even. I'm supposed to keep track of that for Len.
I might have done, I went and got lunch, and I might have gone to the bathroom before I went to lunch, but it was crazy. We set up, was supposed to start at 2. Then I guess the night before they're like, oh, you can get in at 12. So, we got there. Len got there with the stuff like right after 1:30. We started set up. We worked all the way to, we actually left and were done maybe 20-30 minutes before they kicked everybody out for the night, which to be able to, you know me at Mesquite, I was like, no, we've got 2 hours in the room left. And you're like, we got to go to the meetup. I'm like, no, I'm not done. You're like, we're going to the meetup.
Yeah. You got to like drag them out of there. What, as far as like the actual show, like pretty busy? Did it seem like there was a lot of Legions fans that kind of knew what was going on, or was it more of one of those kind of educational shows?
It was a little of both. We definitely had some of the people I'm used to seeing at some of the shows in Jersey and Eastern PA. So Sven was there, and Brett Stoddart, the amazing photographer, he was there.
Not enough people talk about his photography.
Definitely don't talk enough about his photography.
Yeah.
But he was there. I'm drawing blank. I shouldn't have started naming names because now I'm going to forget everybody else. But there was definitely people I'm used to seeing, and they had a separate line for the Horseman table like they do at at PowerCon and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't as big a line, but like it was a really healthy line that came in and fed that table. And Horseman table was going all day. Like it wasn't like it's ZoloCon is like a weird, not weird, but like it's really but it was cool. There were a lot of familiar faces. There were a lot of people who are in the Cabal and have some that I just didn't know the name to face to go.
I saw Hedgehog did a video. I haven't been able to sit down and watch it yet, but sounded like he was having a good time. So
yeah, he came in, and helped us, for the second half of the day Saturday, and hung out with us. So that was really cool. I didn't get to watch that video yet, but it was pretty busy all day. Like it wasn't steady, like someone checking out like constantly, but there were always someone at either or both of the booths. We got to educate a lot of people, I think Patrick was doing tons of showing people how the pop and swap work.
Were there any new drops from Wolf King, like new things that were like seen for the first time?
There were. There was a he had the feral wolf head, which he had showed off. We teased that this week, or not teased it, but we showed it in the post in the week building up to it. But he had two, and I got them. I didn't get them out to show them off yet, but he got kind of like an Egyptian male and female head that would go on the Anubis and Bastet, like human looking ones. That
we got a super chat from Steve-O. Super chat for using my question with Joe. Thanks. We definitely will as soon as he's back. I've got it starred, and we will definitely refer back to it. So did want to pull up this other one too. We were talking about bulletproof vests, and Carver Customs says better than Buttons McBoom Boom. Nobody's better than Buttons McBoom Boom. So that's a trick question. So,
I don't know.
It's one of the characters from Cops. It's like your prototypical like gangster bad guy where he carries like the violin case with the gun in it.
Right.
And then he's got like his chest opens up and guns pop out. It's like,
did he have like the 1920s like gangster voice? Like, see, I'm gonna shoot you with my Tommy gun.
Big Boss was the one that kind of had that voice, but yeah, he totally did.
Okay.
So, one other thing that go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, just throwing it out for Jordan again. Like he was definitely running around all day doing stuff. And it was cool because like it was me, Len, Patrick, and Nathaniel from Wolf King, and then Cookie and Joe Vasapolo showed up. That was really cool. Joe brought some of the prototypes of the Ashes Vagbandor wave.
Oh, nice.
So not all of them, but there was a couple. There was the Shadow Centaur, Yosef, the Golden Skeleton, and Shui. And Shui, all of them in person are so much. Sorry, this is not an insult to Trevor because his photography is amazing and it makes you want to see them in person. But there's just something because light moves in person in ways that you can't. And so Trevor's shots are amazing, but getting to see them in person was really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of in person.
Well, real quick before that, because you just brought up Trevor, I wanted to talk about it. There is a thing going on in the Cabal right now where people are using a hashtag my fave Trevor photo. So check that out in the Cabal. If you've got a photo of Trevor's that you think you really enjoy, go ahead and post that out there. We're trying to show love to Trevor in the community because he does such an amazing job and is just a great all-around dude. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Joe back up. Maybe. We thought we had him, folks. Maybe. We got the circle.
None of this is to be negative on Joe. He has told us like he's I don't remember the exact word he said, but he lives far from civilization. I don't remember if he said backwoods or some other expression, but so I know he's really trying. He tested it out.
We'll get him on. He'll be back.
So he'll be back.
In addition to that hashtag, we had been talking about the hashtag for the Carver Customs giveaway, the Adventure Party 24. So that's another one going on in the Cabal right now. So really just a lot of, fun things going on in the Cabal between the Trevor hashtags and the Adventure Party hashtags. So if you're in the Cabal, check it out, participate. These are toys and, let's have some fun. So
Joe Gonzalez. Wait, I'm clicking the same thing again. Deep in the Virginia wastelands. Maybe that's what he said, or maybe that's what Wholesome Warlock is saying.
Speaking of Joe Gonzalez, did you get to see it all? Anything on Friday night with the OffWorld?
Because we were trying to run and get dinner, and it was just that whole kind of like head threat. Like I jumped in and like said hi, but I didn't get to hear anything.
I got it. That's fine. You can just say that.
No, someone put The Office on. I wanted to watch, but they put The Office on.
But here's what I'll tell you. Joe fixed his internet. He got that Starlink.
Oh,
and dude, he was crisp, clear. You could hear him. You could see him.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Joe Gonzalez in like HD quality. It was, it was pretty awesome. So
no man's land. There we go.
Yeah. So just FYI, it's a brand new Joe Gonzalez. So
nice.
I know you were talking about Jordan earlier, and normally we don't announce our guests like way ahead of time, but we already kind of, broke the news on this that we are going to have Jordan at the end of the month on the 30th. We're also doing a giveaway on that day because we did hit our 750 subscriber goal. So I've got some of our prizes. This is maybe not everything. We may have some more stuff, but I got some of our prizes that we're going to have for that. I figured this might be a good time while we wait for Joe, if that's okay, Jesse.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So let me embiggen myself. We've got a Xenathon that we're going to be giving away.
Heck yeah.
There's that. We have a Lee J. All right.
Excellent.
And then we've got Bastet and Anubis. What I'm going to need to know from the crowd, though, is do we spin these together as a prize on the 30th or individually? So let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments after the show. On the 30th, do you want us to one spin for both or a spin for each? So that's what we need to know. But yeah, that's some of the prizes we're going to have on the 30th with Jordan on, and that should be a lot of fun. He's a great dude. And yeah.
We got one vote. We got 2 votes for spin separately from Yep. Everyone's saying split them, at least the first.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody's saying split them.
Yeah. Anybody that's watching this on replay, make sure you throw your thoughts in the comment. We'll kind of go. I was kind of thinking individually as well. I figured anybody that really wanted the set probably already got the set. So, now this would be kind of an individual, maybe use for customs or give it away to a friend or whatever. So, if people feel strongly the other way, let us know. But it does look like it's pretty much individually. So,
and it looks pretty unanimous. I haven't seen a single person say together. So
I mean, more people have a chance that way. So
your voices have been heard.
There you go.
I want to bring this up real quick. Where'd it go? I forgot to start. Don't forget to stick it to the Dorkler haters by buying the dungeon shirt. Mine is on the way. I can't wait to have mine. I will probably be wearing it next Sunday on the show.
Who hates the dork layer, though? I mean, come on.
Nobody. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Positivity here.
Nobody could hate the dork layer.
Yeah. If someone hates the dork layer, they they probably just need a hug or some like chocolate chip cookies or whatever treat they prefer.
Yeah, they might not have got enough hugs as kids or something.
Or maybe they want peach cobbler with vanilla ice cream, or maybe they want peach cobbler with some chocolate ice cream. I don't know. That does not sound good to me, but I'm sure someone likes that.
No, I don't think so. I think that would be kind of weird. So
we need to change our votes. Chris is saying keep them together. So one vote against the 30
with a laughing smiley face. So
he's laughing. Chris,
And then also, I know this is kind of unrelated, but on OffWorld, we hit our 250 subscriber goal on there. So we're doing a giveaway this Friday. The big ticket item is a Brother Mandibulus, which is going to be loose, but we're going to have some other things too. Maybe some legions, maybe some not legions, but just FYI, you may want to turn into OffWorld this Friday so that you can potentially win some prizes. Plus, you never know if the episode's going to be there the next day. So you better tune in live.
Normally it should be. I guess this is what happens when I don't show up.
Listen, I pulled up a website that had like what they thought were the top 40 cartoon theme songs. Mm-hmm. And within that article, it had YouTube links. And all we did was play those YouTube links. Now, those links went to other people that also don't own the rights to those theme songs. So somehow theirs are able to stay up, but ours came down. That I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, we got Saturday Day Lived.
Yeah, we did. We're tied with them now. We're gonna try to get banned next week so that we can break the record.
No, not. I mean,
we're not doing that for sure.
I mean, I'm not saying we're not. I'm just saying I'm not. They can see you, right?
They can. I was hoping you couldn't see me.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Snickerdoodles. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, circling back to the show, it was a great time, like meeting a lot of it was really cool meeting a lot of new folks. The Maryland flags were a hit, which I succumbed and sold the crabs I did because there were like, I didn't get like sad puppy dog eyes from people, but the folks in Maryland, if you're not familiar, they love their state flag, as well they should. It's a really cool it's a really cool flag. But like there was a couple people that wanted them, and I gave up because I hadn't finished. I hadn't painted the armor and finished painting them up the way I wanted to. But yeah, it was a fun show. A lot of people, a lot of stuff. A couple cosplayers walking around. Yeah.
I wanted to pull this up from Dorklayer. He says, honestly, it was a critique episode and should fall under fair use. We're also not monetized, so it's not like we're profiting off of it at all. So I'm not sure how all that stuff works. I know we had a good time. The people that were there live, I've had many people reach out and tell us that it was their favorite OffWorld episode. So it was a good time for those that were there, and maybe just one more reason for people to show up live. So there you go.
Yeah. we're waiting for Joe. And again, this is no dig on him. It's just internet. I mean, sometimes my internet is really crappy here, and I'm like hardlined into my Ethernet. Maybe I need a new router or something. Didn't really want to get into this, but we'll try to do this if that's all right, Curtis.
Yeah, we can do it. We can put a positive spin on it.
So Rob brings up, a lot of stuff going on in the cabal and making him feel a certain kind of way. Want to take a break. If you feel like you need to take a break, Curtis and I'm pretty sure are both 100% supportive of that. Like mental health stuff and social media. I don't think social media is a bad thing. I think, like anything, if we're too involved in it, spend too much time, it can affect us negatively, even if we're trying to do it for the right reasons. So if you need to take a break, totally cool to take a break. And go ahead.
Go ahead. You finish your thought.
And I was going to say, I mentioned a little bit on Thursday night because I didn't watch the videos that are being referenced. I'm not going to bring any names up because I know this isn't the only person that does videos like this. The whole overrated thing for legions, and we can love Mythic. Like they're by far my favorite figures. They hit all the notes I like. It's okay if people don't feel the same way. I don't like potatoes. I don't really care for Mad Max Fury Road, but for some people, they absolutely love those things. And I'm not saying those things are bad. They just don't work for me. I think there's a way we can love and support the things we like without having to tear other things down in the process. So my encouragement to our people, the people in the cabal, is if you see stuff like that, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. Now, if they're outright attacking someone like by name, that's a different story. But if it's just the brand and stuff, like the Horsemen, they've been around. This is 25 years they've been around, 10 years of this line. They're not going anywhere. And I think we can find ways to build each other up that way. But if you need to take a break, it's a totally understandable thing. Life's too short to get caught up in drama of YouTube people with opinions or other places.
So here's my take.
Sure.
First, Jesse's right. People are going to have different opinions. They're going to have different tastes, different likes, and that's fine. And, toy reviewers are going to review toys. And that means they're going to talk about what things they like and what things they don't like. That's fine too. I think where a line kind of gets crossed is when somebody is telling other people how they should live their life, how they should collect, how they should do certain things, what it means when they collect a certain line. Like it's not your place to tell other people what to do. So that's kind of, if I feel like I'm watching a reviewer that's doing that's telling me what I should do, I just stop watching that reviewer. Like that's not a fair and balanced reviewer. That's not somebody that is looking at all sides of collecting and listing their pros and cons. It's somebody that's trying to influence my buying decisions. So that's one take on that. As far as the community goes, Jesse and I have spoke at lengths about how good this community has been for our mental health. And for those that don't know, June is suicide awareness for men. 1,400 men a day commit suicide. And I think there's a stigma out there where if you're suffering from, any sort of anxiety or stress, any kind of mental illness, it's a stigma that men don't want to, open up about that kind of stuff. We have a very loving community that I think helps with that. If you ever feel like the community is not that way and is not helpful for your mental well-being, then yeah, if you need to take a break, you need to take a break. But the one thing I would encourage folks is don't suffer in silence. You have friends out there. Myself, Jesse, we've been in dark places before, and it's really hard to get out of those by yourself. It really is. So, just lean on each other, lean on the community. And if you have folks out there that are making you feel a different way, you can always block them, ignore them, move on. I saw, there was a quote I saw this week, because sometimes I would see that stuff and I would get angry. And I saw a quote this week that said, anger is like an emotional punishment you give yourself for
Mhm.
other people's behavior. Like, why are you giving them that kind of control over yourself? You know,
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense. So, you know, if somebody's doing something that you don't agree with, you don't like, you don't appreciate, yeah, just don't focus on that person. So
Yeah.
that would be my advice.
Yeah. And again, you know, I know, uh, at least I think Douglas, you know, is that, you know, why would anyone come after Dorkler? And he's like, well, because he supports Savage Crucible. And it's like, Dorkler, he reviews a lot of stuff. He doesn't
Yeah.
focus on any one thing. Like, he reviews toys. He's not just a Mythic Legion's Four Horsemen reviewer. He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and
And
there,
even
there are people that feel like they've got to step on one toy line in order to
Mhm.
promote another. And then there's people that just give their balanced review and assessment of the toys that they see and have in hand. You know, it's up to you guys to determine which ones you think are which. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, like, I mean, no company or person is perfect. Everyone's going to make mistakes. I mean, you know, Hasbro has had its share of you know, really bad public opinions over the last couple of years, but a lot. I mean, I I don't buy as much as I used to, mainly because I'm buying Legions instead. But you know, there's a a lot of hullabaloo. I mean, they sent freaking Pinkertons to a guy's house over Magic the Gathering cards that came out a week early. Like, that's crazy.
yeah.
You know, so like, you know, don't nickel and dime yourself over every little thing. Just, you know, like what you like, let other people like what they like. I'll share this. I posted that I enjoyed the Acolyte, the first 2 episodes, something I got to watch with my mom. And someone who is on my friends list commented, you know, some stuff that kind of made me feel sour about it. And I was like, you know what? This person and I don't really interact. So I'm just gonna unfriend. Oh, Joe's back. We're gonna bring you on right away, just that way, you know, you're not sitting there if it cuts out again. Joe,
Are you
back to
there?
the
Can you hear
bike.
Howdy,
it? Hello.
I think.
How's it going?
I think we've got a delay. Joe, do not feel bad.
Yeah, it's I mean, it is what it is. We'll get through it. So can you hear us now?
Oh no.
All right. Well, while Joe works on that, you know, I just want to pull up this one from Rob.
Sorry.
I don't know Trevor personally, but he's always been super cool to me. All I want to do is defend Trevor and talk shit to certain persons in the cabal, but I don't want the drama. I don't know that talking shit is the correct thing to do either. Yes, Trevor is a great guy, and he does not deserve any sort of hate from folks. But yeah, just rise above it. So, Joe, are you able to hear us now? Maybe. No.
Uh-oh. We got it. We know what's really going on now. Swig installed Joe's router.
That's Swig. They're everywhere now.
Yeah.
Thousands of them.
Or at least the signal that the Wi-Fi is traveling on. So it's probably it's amazing it's working at all.
It's acceptable to troll Trevor as well as embrace him. He has transcended all of us. I will say that Trevor has a very thick skin, and I give Trevor a lot of shit. We go back and forth. We are best of frenemies. And yeah, he's got a super thick skin. But you know, he's still human too. So,
Dorkler, yeah, I knew you were just joking. You were wanting to sell the shirt. I mean, but you know, you brought up good points, and you know, those
Yeah.
are, you know, those are all valid. And you know, sometimes I can get this way. Sometimes when someone comes at us and they list off specific things to, you know, like I asked Curtis for some opinions on painting the other day, and he gave me some tips. And at first I haven't shared this with him. I wasn't offended, but there's kind of like, it's kind of like, oh, like taking a couple little punches, but it's like I asked for.
I think your
critiques
specific words
and
were like,
criticism.
be honest without being
Being
hurtful
mean.
or something. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay, I can do this. So
and again, and nothing he said was bad. Like nothing was inaccurate, but it's one of those things. It's like, we can get really prickly about our own stuff sometimes, and
mhm.
especially if it's something you're really passionate about, we can be so focused. And I'm not saying this about Dorklair, but that we can be so focused on what we're trying to convey that we're so close that we don't see the bigger picture around things. So
I just want to pull
yeah.
up one comment real quick from Douglas. It says the cabal can be a very negative place if you speak against the line. I 1000% disagree. I think that if you speak negatively against the line, you're going to have several folks that disagree with you. I don't think that necessarily is negative. Keep in mind, you're going to a face that is a fan board. That's what it is. It's the official fan board of Mythic Legions. If you're going on there to critique the line or, talk shit about the line, you're probably going to be met with people that disagree with you. That doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. Now, are there certain people in there that get negative? Yeah, there's certain people that get negative on both sides of the argument. And that's just because some people are stupid. It's just a fact. Some people are just stupid. But a majority of people in there are not that way. And I would say as a whole, the community is the most positive toy community that I've ever been a part of. And I think that, most people in there would agree with that. When you get 6,000 members, though, there's going to be some bad apples. That's just the way it is. So
I do agree with you, but I have seen some of the things Douglas has talked about. It can be, I think, again, like you said, with a large percentage of people, it can be negative or, but I agree that if you come in,
there is a problem though. And Dorklair has brought this up several times. There's a difference between being attacked and having somebody disagree with you. And I think that a lot of folks today don't know the difference. So if you go on there and you post something and expect other people to all agree with you, that's just not going to happen. But that also doesn't mean you're being attacked. There are people that do. And when they do, then you report them. And we've got an admin group that looks at that. And if we need to remove those comments, we do. If we need to remove those people, we do. That stuff is taken care of. But to categorize it as a negative place is just not correct. That there are negative individuals. It is not a negative place.
Well, I agree with that. I think it's just if you say something that's that you don't like, negative things can be said. I don't think the place as a whole is negative.
Yeah.
But like when I say things like I like the new Roadhouse better than the old Roadhouse, Curtis takes that personally and wants to shove raw potatoes down my throat until I turn into a cucumber.
No, I just don't understand it. But I mean,
I don't know what that analogy was.
Well, we've got Joe,
sorry.
maybe. So we're going to pull up Joe while we've got the chance. And Joe, are you with us?
Hi. It seems like it.
Okay. Let's do a little test. I'm going to start a count, and when I stop, you continue. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10.
A little bit delay, but we're good. I do want to pull this back up, and we had a question that we wanted to get to you from Steve-O. Says he's wondering if this will have a hole underneath to put on a stand for an in-flight mode.
We discussed that. We weren't really sure what to do with that. It's like I said, it's really heavy. So like any kind of like action figure stand is really not going to work out very well. Your best bet really is to get like an acrylic riser and just put it under there. Mm-hmm. Because again, it's really heavy. It will easily crush most figure stands. We were also talking about having our own little like hover piece, like, just clear like energy coming down. But clear resin tends to yellow really easily.
Hmm.
So we just kind of scrapped the idea altogether.
I would say,
as awesome as that would be.
I would say that was the first thing that I thought of as well, because it would be great to have this thing, especially if you're calling it, a hover vehicle. I don't think it needs to be clear resin. I think you could just do a regular resin piece, some sort of stand that would work with it. But I think that would be a nice addition if you're able to do it. Whether it's just something that works with maybe you find a stand on Amazon that it works well with, and you say, hey, we didn't give you the stands with it, but we did find this particular stand on Amazon that works really well for this thing that this opening at the bottom we created, or if you created something yourself. But I do think that's something that would help the sales of this thing.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. I'm definitely going to need one. It seems like the chat was very excited about it. So.
I'm glad to hear that. We would definitely try to look into stands and test them out, but we're in crunch time now, and these things take a long time to print. So we're kind of now, they need to be printed now, and we don't have time to really test any stands with it, on
Gotcha.
there. So
I'm sure.
Listen, your best bet is get a tiny acrylic riser.
We're in a community full of
have,
customizers. Somebody's going to
balance.
figure out something.
Just on my 2 fingers there, and it's pretty sturdy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can. I just did a Google search for acrylic riser, and there's those C-shaped ones that look like staples.
And I mean, if you want to try and do your own, exactly.
It's all part of the show, folks. Just a little bit of a delay. We're getting there. We've got Joe back, and we're not going to do anything to change that.
I'm having a huge delay, I'm guessing.
It's about probably a 5 to 6 second delay, but it's not the end of the world. The main thing is that people are loving this thing, and it looks amazing.
That's funny.
So, I'm gonna have to get one of these. I'll have to talk to somebody that's going to IshCon to see if I can get somebody to pick one
did
up.
Mike talking about the pricing come through?
I think we've got 75 for unpainted and 150 for painted. Is that correct?
There's going to be, or at least I'm going to try to have 5 of them painted to match the pilot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yep, it'll be nice, shiny red.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Awesome.
Does it come in Gob Hollow Green?
I'm sure you can make it in whatever color you want.
There's only going to be an extremely limited number of painted ones. So, I mean, paint it however you want is the correct answer.
Nice.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else that you wanted to mention on this one before we move on to other things?
It will be available. It might be available after IshCon. We were talking about taking some pre-orders for it and make them to order and not have print out a bunch and then sell them because they take so long to print.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, good job. Looks awesome. Because of the delay that we have, I don't want to do a kind of back and forth thing because it's it'd be a little bit difficult to do that. So I'm just going to give you kind of a topic to talk about and let you kind of go for a minute. So I know last year you weren't able to make it to Legion's Con. You did a thing called Legion's Con at home. And it sounds like it went pretty well. People that couldn't make it had a really good time. This year, you're actually going to be at Legion's Con. So can you just kind of talk about what your experience was like last year with the Legion's Con from home and what kind of things you're looking forward to for this year?
Well, Legion's Con at home was an interesting experience in and of itself. I did get to have a call, but it was pretty interesting. I mean, it was basically just like a usual Friday night call. Nothing too my brain's not working at the moment. I'm sorry. It was nothing too special, really, but it was all completely new faces to compared to who shows up on Friday nights. But it was like the exact same atmosphere, and the giveaway portion of it could have gone better, but I mean, it went well enough. The best part was all the people that came out and like donated towards it. I had like stuff from David Williams, Brian Lynn, Walter, the Horsemen themselves, Trevor 16 Shooter donated stuff, and it was just like Horsehead Studios as well. I want to make sure I can get everybody. Brad Jones as well. I don't want to leave anybody out, but yeah, everybody was so gracious and, was a really big help. And yeah, that I'm excited for Legions Con. I've experienced a bunch of bigger cons before, but those it's like nobody really knows each other, cares to even actually talk to each other very much. And so it's just like kind of going through the motions. So I'm kind of excited for Legions Con and actually being able to, rub elbows with everybody, so to say, literally and figuratively as we walk through the hall.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what I've got.
I know you've been on our Sunday calls pretty regularly in the customizing studio, working and hanging out with others. You're often on the Legions chat conversations on Friday. So definitely very in tune with the community and just kind of interacting with others on a regular basis. Also at Legions Con, we mentioned earlier, you're going to be part of the customizing studio event where you're actually going to be running a table. People are going to come in. We haven't kind of released all the details yet, but there's going to be a couple different things that they're going to receive if they decide to participate in this event. And you're going to be running one of those tables, kind of helping people talking about getting into painting and that kind of stuff. Can you talk to us just a little bit about the customizing studio experience week to week, as well as kind of what you're looking forward to with that event at Legions Con?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. It's something I'm actually genuinely a fan of. It's so fun to like talk shop with everybody while actually working on stuff and getting ideas, trading ideas. Hey, does anybody know a paint match for this? Well, there's this, that, and the other, which is a lot of fun to me. I like sharing experiences because there's a huge thing that I believe with customizing and just art in general. There's no one right way to do anything, because like what works perfectly for me isn't going to work perfectly for you. Like, I know that Curtis hates airbrushing, but to me, I've recently picked it up and I don't know how I ever did anything without it. And that's just how it is for me. There's a certain paint lines, like I despise them, but like other people love them. I'm not the biggest fan of Two Thin Coats or Turbo Dork, but I mean, like, it's working really well for other people, and you know what? That's awesome. Like, if it works for other people, that's the important part. Just because something's like not working for the technique's not working for you, try your own thing. It's if it doesn't work out for you, cool. Keep trying. But that's one of my biggest things that I like to say, and it's just the customizing studio really promotes that mentality, to have like so many people like Emil, Eric Miller, Joe Russo, Joe Vasapolo, all these people who come in and we can have these conversation, discuss techniques, and see just how different we all work together, And yeah, it's a great learning experience for a lot of people who are brand new, because I've like watched people like Brendan Higgins. Like, he is awesome, and he has come a long way. I remember when he first showed up in the Legion's chat, like, he was asking about, hey, I wanted to kind of customize, and we were telling him, oh, pick up some $2 McFarlane figure on clearance, and then just practice on that for a little while. And then just like, I've seen him, he just recently like started posting his actual stuff on his Instagram, and it's really cool to see, like, he has made so much progress that it took me like a decade to do, you know, in less than a year's time.
And with the event at Legion's Con, anything that
I'm sorry, I feel so long-winded doing this because of the delay.
You're fine. You're it's coming across well. So as far as the event for Legion's Con, what are your thoughts on that and kind of expectations with that?
I have no expectations. I'm actually a little terrified. It's one of those things where, like, I've never been put in a position to like guide someone in such a public way. So it's going to be interesting. I've got, you know, butterflies and anxiety, just as I did before this, as I was telling you about Curtis. But like, you know, I'm sure once everything gets going, I won't have internet connection issues. So everything should go smoothly. Yeah, I'm excited to actually get to hang out with people in person, you know, show them my techniques in coloring and stuff like that.
Wholesome Warlock here says customizing studio is so wholesome. I had a talk with Lynn this weekend about Dokken doing his first pop and swap at Legion's Con 23. And now he's already working on full repaint customs. Yeah, it's definitely awesome to see people's journeys. And like you said, like, some people start and then they go from, you know, kind of beginner to really skilled very quickly. And some of us, it takes a long time. And I know, like, me coming in, I had no art background whatsoever before I started. So I was just soaking up everything. I was looking at any Instagram tutorial that I could find, any YouTube videos I could find, hitting up people in the community that had, you know, paint matches and tips and tricks. And you're right. You've got to just kind of like try a bunch of stuff and see what works for you. I've tried, you know, umpteen number of paints and different paint brushes and different equipment and stuff. And, you know, some of it works. Sometimes people give you a piece of advice and you try it and you're like, man, that really works, and I'm never going to do it a different way. And then sometimes people recommend something and you're like, that just does not work for me. So you got to just test it and see how it goes. But I think that's what makes the customizing studio so great, is that there is no shortage of, you know, talent and advice in there to at least kind of give you some ideas of, you know, how to pursue those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I just remember just earlier today, like, you know, people were always all about the two thin coats today. Multiple people were talking about how good they were, which, you know, from what I'm hearing, they're good. I had a really bad experience with it, mostly due to the guy who sold it to me, and I ended up literally just showing the bottle to everybody on screen, and it just went threw it against the wall.
Different stroke.
That's an inevitable move right there.
Yeah, that is.
Which I should get that, because it is in my bed. Last thing I need is for you know, me to shift in bed and unscrew the cap and get covered in paint.
What color
that
is
would
it?
be bad.
Also, it seems like there might not be a delay. Yellow.
Yellow. Okay.
Yeah, the yellow is Jesse's least favorite. He dislikes.
I like
yellow.
the color yellow. I don't like the smell of any of the
No,
yellow
there's
paints.
still a delay.
It's not too bad. I think it's getting better. For anybody that is, you know, I saw some people kind of inquiring about the customizing studio event at Legion's Con. There is going to be more details coming out. The next step of the process is we are waiting on Jesse to come up with an amazing logo for us so that we can put together some awesome shirts for people attending the event. So that is the next step. So anybody that's wanting more details about the customizing studio, message Jesse relentlessly on how the logo is coming.
No,
for
the logo is fine. We're 5 months away.
Now, what they
We'll
need
be
to
fine.
do is bribe Van with bourbon.
That'll work too.
The design is well underway. I want to make it like I've got it all laid out. I'm excited about it, but Curtis doesn't like seeing stuff in process, so I'm not
This
sure.
is true. This is true. It's like Super Troopers. What does that mean? Does that mean he's gonna spit it? No, he's gonna make it really good. That's Jesse. Jesse's gonna make it really good.
It'll be
all
okay.
right.
It'll be acceptable.
So we kind of talked about Legions Con.
Yep.
I know another one coming up for you that's a really big one is IshCon, and it sounds like there's some fun stuff going on Friday night, as well as you have a table for the actual convention. Can you tell people kind of what you've got going on for that, what things you've been working on for that event, and talk to us about like how excited you are for it?
Oh, dude, it's gonna be my first time actually having a table at a convention. I am in crunch mode right now because it's only 2 months away, and I don't even have half the stuff I want done. I've got so many customs like not made. The hover bikes, like I haven't gotten the chance to paint any of them because like I'm still working out all the. I'm cleaning all of them still, even the one I've shown and the one in the picture. There's a bunch of like little spots where the support's connected to it, and I gotta like sand that and fill all the holes, and I've got like 5 customs that I need to finish, and I don't even have all the parts for all those customs yet. I'm waiting on one of them from a friend, and just it's been crazy, but like I'm excited. I've got a bunch of heads painted up at the very least, and between the heads and the hover bikes, I'm sure I'll have enough on the table, despite not having all the completed customs that I want. So that'll at least go well. I'm really excited for it because I'm going to actually be able to get to meet, a bunch of people in person. I know Jesse's coming down. David Williams is also going to be there. I'm going to get to harass Jeremy a little bit as well as Walter. So it's going to be a fun time, and we're going to go a little crazy, I'm sure.
Jesse looks surprised as if he doesn't know that he's going down there.
I don't, unless someone's kidnapping me, I don't have any plans on getting there on my own at this point.
Well,
I would love to be there.
I would imagine Brett's probably going, so you could probably hitch a ride with him.
What weekend is it? Because I think I'm dog sitting.
Oh, I remember having a conversation with Jesse. I apologize.
Yeah,
because we did talk about you sleeping on my couch at one point with my dog.
What weekend is it for IshCon? I'm surprised Jordan hasn't already answered this in chat.
Is it 2 weeks? If it's 2 weeks, I definitely can't do it.
This is August 3rd.
August, yeah. I mean,
August 2nd and the 3rd. The 2nd is strictly a VIP night.
So, can you tell us a little bit about this whole VIP night? Because I've heard a little bit about this, and I've seen some stuff from Ish. But what is your understanding about how this VIP night goes?
Honestly, I have very little information. I just know there's going to be some sort of exclusives for it, which is I'm going to be contributing with my red hover bikes that I have coming up. So there's that, and like I really don't have much more information. Nothing has been really handed to me beyond, hey, it's going to be some exclusives, and it's from X time to X time.
Well, if we have anybody in the chat that knows
really all the information
the VIP night and could share some information with us, that would be super awesome. I don't know if there's anybody out there like that, but if there is, that would be cool. So, so Joe, we've kind of talked about what you've got coming up. But how did you get into all this? How did you get into customizing? How did you get into Legions as a whole? Were you collecting other toy lines before that? Like, can you tell us a little bit about how your journey started?
Okay, so I was probably about 3 when I got my first action figure and never really stopped collecting. That's the main easiest way to say where it all started. But I actually told the story of how I started customizing earlier today in the customizing studio, which was I had one of those old, 90s X-Men Wolverine figures, and he had those awful claws that go in and out, when you press on them. And I hate action features. I always have, even as a little kid. And I had a broken Wolverine figure that was like his Weapon X, where he got the experiments done on him, and he had static claws, and that was broken. So I took the forearms off of those, put them onto the other like regular yellow costume Wolverine, and then just painted the gloves on him. And that was my first custom. And it's been all downhill since I was 6. I've been like painting ever since then. So, when I was talking before about having a decade of experience, because I was completely self-taught. Back in the 90s, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have, things to look up. If I wanted to go to a class or something, I'd have to, my parents would have had to have paid hundreds of dollars for that. And they're not going to do that so I can paint action figures. And, so it's just been this progression over time. And I've always been a big fan of the Horsemen since I discovered them, which was around the time of Motu Classics. I really got into those when those came out. And then I discovered the Seventh Kingdom figures, which I absolutely love. But unfortunately, I had, mine just kind of crumbled to dust. I had one of the figures that was just sitting on my shelf and it fell over. It didn't even fall off the shelf. It fell onto the shelf. So it was just like a 6-inch drop. And it just completely shattered. And so when Mythic Legions was announced, I looked at it and was just like, I'm gonna pass, just because I'd been burned, so I didn't want to do it. But I started collecting last January when I finally looked at the price of Marvel Legends, which were nearing $40 a piece, and I was like, but for $10 I could have these awesome figures that remind me of D&D. And there's that one green skeleton that I have absolutely loved, which is Scaphoid, which 7 years ago I went to a convention down in Raleigh, North Carolina, and every booth had him. Just Scaphoid. They had maybe one other Mythic Legions figure, and that was it. There was no selection at these booths, and it was $35 each time. And I kept passing it up as much as I wanted it. The universe was screaming at me, "Collect this line, collect this line," and I didn't. And I'm kicking myself to this day for not just picking up that Scaphoid 7 years ago. So I finally, saw Thrace, and I went, I need that figure. It just reminded me of so much of what I do with my D&D stuff. And I bought it right away. I saw on the pre-order it said due out in February, and it was January. I was like, cool, it's going to be out in a month. Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way. And so, then shortly after that, I got my first actual in-hand Legion figure, which was the Deluxe Skeleton Builder, which then turned into my very first custom. And, it was such a good figure, despite it being a Legion builder with no painted details or anything like that. But it was just so hefty and solid feeling, and it didn't feel like I would break this thing. It was just so good, and it felt better than a Marvel Legends or anything like that. It reminded me of a figure from the 90s, like the old Star Wars figures. Those were solid figures. You never felt like you were going to break them. And that's how I feel about Mythic Legions. And it's what I love about Legions. And it's one of the reasons why I pretty much don't collect Marvel Legends outside of the X-Men figures at this point. And, it's what I love about Legions.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Jesse, you got
Also, I'm a
any
huge D&D nerd. So,
any
there's
questions
that
that obviously we're not trying to have like yes no questions, but you got any questions for Joe?
Well, he just mentioned it. So with the D&D, so talk a little bit about your D&D and then bridge that into the customizing. So, or your love of the Mythic Legion. So start with D&D, go into Mythic.
All right. So I have always had an interest in tabletop role play. I never actually got to do it up until about 7 years ago when I was seeing that scaphoid, which everything just so in fact, actually, one of my players, because I'm a forever DM, so I'm always the dungeon master to every one of the players. One of my players is actually in the chat. He's been pretty active here. It's been a lot of fun for me. I absolutely, love D&D, the immersion of pretending to be someone you're not, and just as a group telling a story together is just a lot of fun. I've always just enjoyed that. I grew up on The Hobbit as a kid, and King Arthur and Robin Hood. Those were my things as a kid. So to be able to actually play in that world was a lot of fun, and to be able to create my own world like that was just so awesome to me. I can't express it, the way I want to, but it is absolutely just my best thing. It's my one thing I look forward to every week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I play D&D. I play with my one friend running a module on Tuesdays, and then I run my own game on Thursdays. And it's just a lot of fun to get just lost in that. I can just forget all my worries of the week and just have fun with friends and just be in another world, so to say. Yeah.
Awesome.
And, the Mythic Legions, they remind me of that, and they allow me to, expand that further. I can just look over here to my side and then just I'm in my D&D world,
That's awesome. I do have some comments here that we've had starred for a little bit, so I want to try to get to them. Rice Baby 0118, which is an amazing name, by the way. How do I get to the customizing studio chat? I think Jordan answered this, but yeah, just message me or Jesse, and we can add you in. There's two different chats. The first one is kind of the main chat that is always going for people to share ideas and things like that. And then there's a second one that we do each week for the actual call. And the reason why we have to have two chats is because if you have more than 50 people, you can't start a call in there. So once the other group starts to get too big, we boot everybody out and we start a new one and kind of go from there, because not everybody joins that one each week. So just as an FYI. And then Robert was talking about when you were kind of stressing about not getting everything done for IshCon. Says, knowing you, Joe, you'll get it all done in time. Faith, trust pixie dust, and a lot of sleepless nights. Then we've got
that's my player.
Yeah, we got a couple things for the IshCon that we were talking about. Robert says $20 for VIP tickets, limited to 100 people. The main event is on the Saturday, August 3rd, 10 a.m. to midnight, which is a long convention. I don't know that I've heard of any conventions run it.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then Jordan said, as far as the Friday night goes, it's extremely limited pieces available. And a lot of vendors will only be available on preview night. Preview night is limited to only 100 people. So if you're interested, $20 for the VIP ticket, only 100 spots available. It sounded like last time I heard that they were running very short on spots. So if that's something you're interested in, need to get on that right away. And then Jordan asked this for you, Joe. He says, do I have your consent to use your likeness to make a 30-second promotion video for your cosmic bike?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to put my face on front of a train and sing the Choo Choo song, I'd go for it, man. It's awesome. I love that.
Well,
I was dying when I first saw it on your page.
to be
And then,
fair,
like,
though,
seeing it
Jordan
again
doesn't turn
today,
people into trains. Only witches turn people into trains. So, just to be fair,
I mean, how do you know Jordan's not a witch?
that's
You don't
true.
Because
know.
he's a wholesome warlock.
Yeah, that's true too. And then we had
I mean,
Robert
true, he's a
pop
warlock,
in
not a witch.
and said, honestly, I've been playing with Joe for years. He's absolutely a blast to be a part of. Always the highlight of my week. So there you go. So it sounds like you're doing a pretty good job as a DM.
And if I can interject real quick, as a player, I have tried to DM a couple times. It just hasn't gotten really far. One got pretty far, but much respect to the DMs, especially the ones that are always as you said, the forever DM. So on behalf of your players who hopefully show you that appreciation, thank you.
And Jordan threw out one more thing, says Saturday is ending at 6 p.m. To accommodate more time to prepare for the 4-HM reveal. So I guess that midnight is including all the activities, maybe?
All.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Cool. Jesse, did you have anything else for Joe?
I was kind of worried because I really didn't want a day of being there till midnight.
Yeah.
Well, if the Horseman reveals at the end of the show, well, maybe the other show is still going on, and or no, he says it ends at 6. So having that show and then getting to end and go hang out for the reveal, like as kind of like as they like to say, was it in storytelling, the denouement, the decline of the story at the end. I think that we get it in at G-Con, we get it before the event. So like having this to kind of like, be like a cool kind of settling to the night. That sounds pretty fun, but also get you excited for whatever that session's going to be.
It'd be like, so like if IshCon is the meal and then the 4 Horsemen reveal is like the peach cobbler with the vanilla ice cream afterwards is kind of what you're saying.
Sure. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Beautiful.
Sure.
He says vendors shut down at 6, break for dinner, and then 8 p.m. will be the 4 Horsemen reveals. So awesome. Beauty.
What kind of dog do you have, Joe?
Beagle.
Oh, nice. Wishbone.
And then Rice Baby says that's a big word, denouement. Very much. I had no idea what he's talking about. So the words of Jesse do not represent the vocabulary of shooting the show.
Missouri education.
Yeah, I'm from Missouri.
It's the final resolution of the intricacies of a plot as of a drama or a novel. The place at which the plot, the outcome, the resolution.
Sure. Intricacies. Got it.
Yeah.
He said I Googled it.
I mean, I Googled the definition just so I could read it for you. But I know what it means. I just wanted to get it accurate.
You have no idea how many things Jesse says that I have to Google. So, awesome. Well, Joe, I know another thing that we like to talk about when we have guests on here is kind of what other things that they like. So do you have any shows, movies, anything else that you're really into right now that you're either excited for that's coming up or something that you're really enjoying currently?
Well, I've rewatched Fallout about 3 times now. I'm debating doing a 4th soon.
Wow.
I've had a lot of fun with X-Men 97. It's really good. Like I had high expectations for it, but even that surprised me. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, with my awful internet, as everybody has witnessed tonight, I don't really get to dip my toes much into entertainment. Like I normally don't watch much TV, and I tend to like just do video games usually. And unfortunately, with my internet currently, I can't really even do that much. But I recently got back into WoW, so that's been
nice.
a lot of fun for me. It's currently doing some. They have a cool event going on right now, so that's been a lot of fun. But like, yeah, I don't really have much going on with that. Oh yeah, new Doctor Who. That's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying that.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, Fallout was great. We had a good discussion on that on OffWorld. X-Men 97, I actually had very low expectations for, but that's just kind of how I live my life. I have low expectations for everything. That way I can't be disappointed.
Okay,
but
MJ.
it was really good.
Yeah, I still find a way to disappoint.
So, episode 5 got me, and I hope that there's, it's the comic book world. Nothing is forever, but yeah, that one kind of got me. But anywho,
Dandelions are forever.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Even in comic book world?
That's a literary reference almost no one in this chat will understand.
I'll Google it later.
No, don't. It's something I wrote, so it probably won't pull up.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
There is another thing.
Sure.
If anybody out there reads the King Killer Chronicle or Stormlight Archive, please hit me up. Please hit me up. I have people I need to talk to about this, and I have no one to talk to about those things, and I just want to strangle people who I've literally bought the books for, and they didn't read it.
I don't read. I just don't. It's just a thing. But I was recommended the King Killer Chronicles by Jeremy Gerard, and I figured I'd give it a whirl. And I checked out the first book, and I could not put it down. It was so good. Went through the second book, pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the first, but still really good. And then I'm ready for the third book, and yeah. I don't know if we'll ever.
Believe me, yeah. I'm right there with you.
I'm no longer starting a fantasy series unless it's finished.
Yeah, it's rough because it's like you really want to hear the rest of that story.
You say that, Jesse, but Patrick Rothfuss, who did the King Killer Chronicle, finished his books ahead of time. But then he looked back after writing the first one and then the second one and was like, oh, my writing was not up to par. I kind of have to rewrite this now.
Oh.
Which is exactly what would happen to you, I'm willing to bet.
Well, I meant like out and published, like out on the shelves. Like, here's the trilogy. Here's
and it's been like
dodecahedron, whatever.
I think just going to release all the books at once.
Yeah, yes. I think from the first book to the second book was like 2 or 3 years apart. And then from the second book till now, it's been over 10 years, like 11 or 12 years at this point, and still no third book. So it's frustrating. But the first two are great. I would not read them just because the third one isn't out, because it is some of the best fantasy reading that I've ever done in my life. And I know I just said I don't read a whole lot, but it is really good. So highly recommend. But yeah, anytime you want to talk about that, Joe, I'm available. So
yeah. And Curtis, like, I would love to. I also, again, recommend Stormlight Archive a lot. It's very good.
Okay, gotcha. Let's check that out.
Steve-O, I did start reading this while Game of Thrones was going on.
Delay is hysterical for me. I'm sorry.
But when I realized that he hadn't read anything past season 5, I stopped reading the books. So I have them, but yeah.
Because I did see this from Tanya. Says Jesse's book is awesome. Now, here's my thing with Jesse's book. first of all, it's not published yet. So if we're using Jesse's rule, we can't read it yet. But I will say I read
standalone story.
Yes. I read it through once, and I'm not a great reader. And what I will say is I really enjoyed the characters. The character building is phenomenal. I love the characters. I've now gone through it. I'm starting to go through it a second time, and Darla is reading it with me, which basically means Darla is reading it out loud and I'm listening. And we got to get back to it because we haven't actually read it in a couple weeks. But I'm enjoying it much more the second time around because I think I'm getting some of the parts that I maybe have missed in the story the first time. And that's just something that's kind of with me. Like I typically will have to reread certain parts or reread the whole story in order to get the whole thing. But I will say the characters are really well done. So I agree with that, Tanya. So
thank you.
And I think that's it for the comments here. And I think we got through all the, I did have, this is kind of off topic, but let me go back to this because I did have these starred from Dorklear and I wanted to pull them up. This is when we were talking about kind of the, how things can turn negative and stuff on social media and stuff. And Dorklear said, what happens is people share a critique, then 3 people comment hateful things and 50 people disagree with them. And then the original poster lumps them all together and says 53 people attacked me. That's what I was kind of trying to get at, but I didn't put it as eloquently as he did. It's just, I think, especially in the Cabal, I think there are going to definitely be people that disagree with you, but that doesn't always mean that they're attacking you. So there are going to be people that are attacking you. And if so, that's what that little report button is for. And us admins work very hard to try to make sure that we're taking care of that. So Carver Custom says, are you enjoying it more because Darla does voices for you? She actually doesn't change the voices, but I'm just enjoying it more because I'm able to kind of envision what's going on in my head rather than focusing on the act of reading it. So
I would love to hear her impersonation of what she thinks Mordecai sounds like.
And then Jeff says, where do we get to read Jesse's book? It's not out yet. He's given a few copies out to people to kind of read and give him feedback on. But yeah, that's, I guess if you're interested, message Jesse. I don't know. You tell us, Jesse, are you willing to share that with other people yet? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I could share it with a few more people.
Okay. It says story time with Curtis could become a thing. It pretty much is most Mythic Minutes. Like anytime Jesse's reading on Mythic Minutes, that's just story time with Curtis. So,
Joe, what you said something there? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I've already forgotten because of the delay. I don't even remember what I said.
That's how my brain works too.
This is Princess
Bride. The audiobook. If there's an audiobook, I'll listen to it because that's how I do all my reading.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Steve says, are you wearing a Bears jersey in bed while she's next to you reading? No, but that
took me longer to get than it should have.
Yeah, that would be cool. Awesome. Well, appreciate the reveal for the bike. It looks phenomenal. I definitely recommend people jump on this when you have the opportunity because this thing looks just fantastic. Especially if you get some painted ones that look in a similar color scheme to that red jet, that would be amazing. I now, because of Jesse's comment, want to make it into like a futuristic police bike for cops. Yeah, really cool stuff. So appreciate that. Definitely check out Joe coming up at IshCon. He's got his own table. He'll have a lot of his pieces there for you to check out. He is on Legion's chat pretty much almost every Friday night. So if you join the Legion's chat, you're going to see him there. In the customizing studio on Sundays, almost every Sunday. And then also we'll be at Legion's Con and doing the customizing studio event. So anything I missed there, Joe? Anything else where people can see you? You want to promote your Instagram or anything else you want to share with them before we close out the show?
Absolutely. Yeah, check me out on Instagram at Drow Taylor. I've got a bunch of customs on there, especially Curtis's favorite custom that I did, Cyclone. As well as a bunch of other stuff. Hit me up in the Cabal if you want to talk about those books I mentioned. Joe Martinez in there. And as Jesse pointed out last week, check out my Fodder Friday.
Oh yeah,
That's if you want some good parts. Other than that, I mean that's about it, really. Thank you very much.
Jordan says Joe will also have some amazing stuff at his booth from Watchbird. I don't know what that is.
Watchbird Bird Hanshin.
Oh, it's another customizer. That each basically asked me to handle their stuff at the convention, and I said sure, why not? So that'll be at my booth as well.
Awesome.
Kind of was in the back of my mind because I'm juggling 1,000 other things mentally right now.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, Joe, we really appreciate you being on. Understand, with internet being an issue, it wasn't really the easiest for you, but we appreciate you bearing with us and keep trying because it was a great conversation. We loved seeing the bike. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun hanging out and talking to you. So we appreciate you kind of sticking with us there.
Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I had to say this. I forgot to do a post. But a couple weeks ago, I forget if it was in the customizer studio or it was on one of the shows, but Joe heard me talking about how I liked this particular snack, and we don't have it here regularly. I'm trying to bring the image up before I say it out loud.
Is it peach cobbler and vanilla ice cream?
No. It's this. I'm not saying this out loud because I don't want to get clipped for Purple Gang Gang.
Raisin cream pies? You won't say that?
Nope.
Do you not like raisin cream pies?
No. This is one of my favorite snacks.
I won't say it either.
I'm not saying it out loud on a video recording.
I don't understand. It's just a Little Debbie. I mean, you're just raising cream pies. What's the problem?
But I'm not.
Okay. I don't know. Is this on Walmart? Walmart has these?
Well, I mean, you look at this price here, $15. That is way too much. But all that to say,
I don't know. How much do cream pies normally go for?
Joe sent me
like
a packet of them, and I was going to do a post as a thank you, but I think I ate them all in like a day and a half. He knows exactly what he's doing.
So you ate a bunch of cream pies.
Oh, I know.
Really fast is what you're saying. Okay. I believe we got a super chat out there, Jesse.
Yeah, I know. You've been reading
cool.
the
Glad you know
chats,
my show is the
you
one that gets demonetized.
We're not going to get demonetized for this. I'm just not saying it for sake of repurposing it later.
I mean, it's $1.99 super chat.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it.
I mean, it's cream pies. You said you like the snack. I don't know what the problem is. Is it because of the raisins? Do you have a problem with the raisins?
No. I made a statement about not having someone in my basement for 6 months that got turned into a clip of me saying that I did.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I like raisins. I think oatmeal raisin is my favorite cookie. So I'm a big raisin fan.
I don't know if I can believe you right now.
That I like oatmeal raisin? It is 100%.
Your favorite?
Oh yeah.
Darla, is that true?
Babe. She says it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoy those as well.
I do like a good sugar cookie as well, but oatmeal raisin definitely favorite. With Anyway. So cool.
All I can see now is that lady on Instagram, you know, the Southern lady. She's like, say the weird thing. And I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, Robert, I don't understand. Joe definitely gave Jesse cream pies, and Jesse liked them, and I don't know. I'm not sure what the problem is either.
Raisin. They were raisin.
Yeah, he was
That's
raising.
all you're
Yeah,
getting.
raising cream pies. So, all right.
I'm sorry,
well,
Joe. I was trying to say a nice thing as a thank you for.
Oh,
a
Rob,
kind
you're gonna
gesture
pay
you
for
did.
that one.
Yeah, I really
no
appreciate
good
you
deed
bringing
goes
that up,
unpunished.
Jesse. It really,
No
I
worries,
think, was the
Jesse.
highlight of the show.
Rob
Oh,
is going to
I
pay
can
for that
see-
comment, though.
I can see the giddy glee that you're trying to hide on your face, Curtis. It's breaking through now.
I thought I had a lot of fun. It was a really fun episode. So, all right.
What did Robert say? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not pulling that one up.
Yeah, Joe said that he's going to pay for that in D&D. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was already pulled up.
all right. Well, Joe,
I'll give him
appreciate
the Emil treatment. Post that no.
I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, no.
Are we alternating super chats now? Because we've got another one. I think this
Damn
is
it,
your
Steve-O.
turn.
Nope, you're just reading them all.
Okay. Eddie says, nothing like a good old fashioned cream pie, Jesse. So, although he may have had some sort of accent on that, I'm not sure.
He's now bragging to the D&D group that he's being legit.
Yep. Steve-O, you broke him. Good job. Well, Joe, it's been fun. We are going to go ahead and put you backstage. If you're able to stay and hang out, we'll be with you right as soon as we close out the show. If you've got to go, we totally understand that too. And but we appreciate you being on. It's been amazing. And for folks that haven't checked out Joe and his work, check out his Instagram at Drow Taylor. Does some amazing work, including some really great Motu tributes. And check him out at Legions Con and at IshCon. So thanks, Joe, and hopefully we'll see you in a few minutes. Later.
Thank you, Joe.
Beautiful.
Oh gosh, that happened. Oh,
what happened? Did I miss something?
I went full donkey.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You did not hear that?
Oh yeah, I heard you.
Okay,
so awesome. It was a good show. I mean, I understand. Obviously, there were some internet problems and stuff, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yes, Joe, thank you for your patience and hanging in there and not giving up. We totally genuine appreciate that. It was great to have you on here, especially after I asked you to be on like back in November, and I totally forgot we had that conversation, and you were like, "Hey, are you still want to have me on?" I was like, "Yeah." What?
I think Guaisagwe might have got disconnected for a second. He wants to know what you're laughing about.
What was I laughing about? I was laughing about where'd it go? I don't remember now. This one.
And for our audio listeners?
It's not a super chat, so I'm not reading it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry, audio listeners. You'll never know what Jesse was laughing about. So
yep.
All right. But we do have another show next week. You want to tell the folks who we got coming up next week
and how? To the person that is in this picture, I apologize. This was a quick sketch that I did like literally like 15 minutes before we went live tonight. I will get a proper picture from you because the one I found was really zoomed in. I had to zoom in because it was a group of people. But and next week,
his face was like Joe Gonzalez on his old internet.
It wasn't a very detailed photo, so I will do a new picture before I post this. But I wanted to have this for tonight because Curtis was like, "Hey, do you have a slide for next week?" I was like, "No, I'd literally just like woken up from my not tire store nap." So next week, without further ado, we have Dylan. I don't know how to say your last name, Dylan. Strike Arts?
I think that looks right.
also known as Legends Collector. Where'd it go?
1321.
That's what I said. 1321. I said it right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, and let me just tell you, folks, if you're following any of the first 1320 Legends collectors, those guys are all right. Okay. But I tell you what, when you get to 1321, that's when you've struck gold, because Dylan's a super great guy. So
yes, he is.
Yeah, nothing against the first 1320 Legends collectors. I'm sure they're fine people. Okay. But this one's the dude. So
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, you've gotten to hang out with him at a couple cons, and he's just really fun. He's been getting to get in on the customizer studio, which I know he normally works on Sundays. So it's been cool getting to see him in there, and just a fun dude. So yeah, we'll have him
always like super positive and just in a good mood when you see him at conventions and stuff. Yeah, great guy. So
yes. I mean,
you did really undersell that. Like, you're like, oh, it's like
to me, compared to what I normally put up there, that was like that was literally like 5 minutes, and 3 of those minutes was looking for the picture.
I still think it came out well, but
thank you. I'll still do a better one, or at least finish the details on that one. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Shooting the Shelf. It has been fun. My head is throbbing. I laughed way too hard.
And remember,
I'm gonna
folks,
regret saying that.
Do not upset witches, because if you do, it could turn into this.
Let's do the Curtis Choo-Choo song.
Oh, choo-choo, Curtis rolling down the track. A lonely whistle echoes, he ain't coming back. Cursed by a witch, now a train all alone. Choo-choo, Curtis, far from home. Lonely nights and endless rails. Choo-choo, Curtis, lost in tales. A heart of steel, a soul in pain. Choo-choo, Curtis, bound by